So this is an attempt by some, what I would say, copyright advocacy groups. This is by a couple of companies called Copyright Alliance and Copyright Defense, which, interesting names. I like how sometimes the names are like generic. The unified voice of the copyright community. Ad industry efforts. Keep the pirates at bay. We are the Copyright Alliance, the unified voice of the copyright community, representing the interest of thousands of individual creators and organizers. Artists, broadcasters, filmmakers, video game makers, performers, photographers. And then there's this weird counter, which is counting up way too fast. There we go. Okay. Copyright has contributed $1.2 trillion to the U.S. gross domestic product, which I'm assuming is annually. This is an advocacy group. And here is another advocacy group. The Copyright Defense whatever. These are the people behind this bill that is attempting to create a copyright small claims enforcement system administered by the U.S. Copyright Office and through remote proceedings. So we don't have to go over this entire 25-page document, but I wanted you to know that it exists and it has been filed, and I don't know when it will be heard or hit the floor or anything. I am not terribly familiar with how things go from introduction to committee to being heard bicamerally and presented to the president for, well, they don't get presented until they're signed, until they're voted. But this creates a copyright small claims court, basically. Hereby established in the U.S. Copyright Office, a copyright small claims program called the Copyright Claims Board, which shall serve as an alternative forum in which parties may voluntarily seek to resolve certain copyright claims regarding of category as further provided. It creates copyright claims officers and attorneys. There will be compensation, etc. Their functions are to render determinations on such civil copyright claims, counterclaims, and defenses as are permitted to be brought before them under this chapter, to ensure the claims, counterclaims, and defenses are properly asserted or otherwise appropriate for resolution by the board, to request the production of information and documents, to conduct hearings and conferences, to facilitate party settlement of claims, to award monetary relief, to provide information to the public, to maintain records, to carry out other duties as are prescribed, and to perform such duties as may be assigned by the Register of Copyrights. They set forth the duties of the copyright claims attorneys. The copyright claims officers shall render their determinations in individual proceedings independently on the basis of records in the proceedings before them and in accordance with the provisions of this title, judicial precedent, and applicable regulations of the Register of Copyrights. The copyright claims officers and copyright claims attorneys may consult with the Register of Copyrights on general issues of law, but subject to Section 1405. Notwithstanding any other provision of law or policy of the Library of Congress or Register, no performance appraisal, okay, whatever. Nature of proceedings, voluntary participation. Participation in a Copyright Claims Board proceeding shall be on a voluntary basis, and the right of any party to instead pursue a claim, counterclaim, or defense in a U.S. District Court shall be preserved. So this does seem like a voluntary copyright small claims board. That's very interesting. Permissible claims include a claim for infringement of Section 106, a claim for declaration of non-infringement, so even the Imagos case may have been able to be prosecuted through the Copyright Claims Board, or at least part of it. A Section 512F claim, a counterclaim solely against the claimant that arises under 106 or 512F. Very interesting. Monetary recovery for actual damages and profits or limited statutory damages. Subject to the limitation on total monetary recovery set forth, actual damages and profits according to Section 504B, etc., or limited statutory damages shall not exceed $15,000 per work, $7,500 per work infringed, or $15,000 per proceeding, depending upon whether it's timely registered or not timely registered. Interesting. This is actually, this seems sort of good. I want to hear your opinion. But this seems like pretty much in line with the existing copyright law. It's completely voluntary, and it limits damages. So there's an incentive for defendants to take this instead of a court case, and there's an incentive for plaintiffs to take this instead of having to file a court case. They may get a little less money, but they had to spend less money as well, at least in theory. So that's really interesting. There's a lot more to this bill about how they review scheduling, conferences, evidence, hearings, voluntary dismissal, etc. I think I'm going to do a longer video on this, and we'll make this one of our major video topics, because this is really, really interesting. That's a really interesting bill. Anyone have any questions about that or anything else that we discussed today while I wet my whistle? If it is voluntary, could there be an issue with lobbyist judges? No. The federal district court judges would not be allowed to disfavor a party because they refuse to go through with the voluntary process. If it was brought up by a party, it would be a salacious statement that could be struck in a motion to strike. Who's funding these advocacy groups? Well, I think they actually kind of told us. Let's go back here. Who we are, who we represent. Let's try this. They obviously get their money from someplace. So they claim to represent 13,000 organizations in the United States and 1.8 million individual creators. Not to get down on anyone's parade, but this is very possible. There are a lot of creators who may or may not even be YouTube creators who look at this problem from a different angle, and they really want more anti-piracy tools because they really want to get paid either a reasonable amount for their work or just get paid more as they're getting better at their work. It's a difficult question. Now, at the same time, I think we also saw, or I'm going to be going over, a report that said that piracy really doesn't impact the market that much because it both promotes the market while also taking some sales from the market, but the sales numbers aren't nearly as high as some proponents list, and the marketing or the promotion is actually a little bit stronger than some people admit. So there are arguments on both sides. These people happen to fall on this side. So who are we talking about? 21st Century Fox, American Association of Independent Music, the American Association of Publishers, the APA, American Photographic Artists, ASCAP's part of it, BMI is part of it, the Copyright Clearance Center is part of it, Disney, CBS, Entertainment Software Association, NBA, RIAA, SESAC, Sony, NAB, Thomson Reuters, the Recording Academy, NBC Universal, NMPA, the National Music Publishers, the Motion Picture Association, the MPAA, are all behind this organization and that bill. Why? Because they want to make it more prevalent to go after piracy, and they want to make it less of a public record that they're going after piracy because they look bad when they go after piracy. So should they be able to? Yeah, I kind of think they should. I kind of think they should be able to pursue infringement in small claims court at the voluntary, both parties have to agree. That seems kind of fair. So I don't necessarily agree that you should go after all piracy, but I don't think this is a bad tool. This seems like it might actually be a useful tool for even small creators. This would make it easier for YouTube content creators to go after infringement of their content when people like Milo Yiannopoulos copy my videos. Milo Yiannopoulos copy my video. So, you know, we're going after him. But I'm going after him through my representation, which is Viral Hawk. He's going to pay me for that video. Yes, Milo Yiannopoulos posted one of my videos to his Facebook. I'm not telling you which one because it's not a Lawful Masses video. It got like 1.5 million views, which is awesome, but he hasn't paid me for it. So he's going to pay me for it. So everybody, thank you for joining me. Let me thank my Patreon supporters. If you would like to see more of my content and just support me in general, please consider supporting me on Patreon, even at the $1 or $2 level. If you pledge at the $5 level, you get put on the board behind me and in the description below. If you pledge at the $50 level, I will literally say your name on stream and thank you personally for your $50 plus contribution. Those $50 contributors for the month of August are Joshua Meinzinger, John Steele, John Cripps, Nate Beck, Lydia Collinson, and Westin Lohne. Thank you very, very much for your contributions, and thank all of the other $5 plus supporters who are scrolling on the panel and are listed in the description below. And there are still another 300 some of you who are pledging at the $1 to $2 level as well. All of you do get some perks. There are, you can get the patron tag and access to the patron stream. I do at least a half-an-hour patron stream before this where we go over some of these topics and I ask for your opinions. And you get a tag and your own channel and stuff on my Discord. Discord is kind of I'd call it a better alternative to Skype. You can do video chats now, as well as text chats and voice chats, and we even have tools and things to help find people who play video games together and all that. And it's really a great time. It's one of the higher quality communities that I found on the internet, and if you pledge to be high quality as well, we will let you in, and you can participate with us as well. That link should be in the description. I believe I remember to put that in there today. Before I started. So if you are interested in all of that, please feel free to join us. I really appreciate you all. I am Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. Thank you very much for joining me on stream today, and I'll see you in my videos and in our next stream next week. All right. Now we're going to go play some PUBG and relax and have a good time. So join me on Twitch, twitch.tv/LeonardFrench. No J in there, just Leonard French. Leonardfrench. Thank you. See ya, bye. And there's a link in the live chat. Love you guys.